Beautiful. So welcome once again, the I'm Leading Book Club members and guests. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. We are so privileged to have you. I have a challenge with my laptop. It's not working well, but we are together. After all, I'm not the main speaker today. So this is amazing that this evening we have, how many are we so far? I think almost 20. We have got a good quorum for us to start. So I want to welcome you. Feel at home. We are going to have amazing presentations this evening, and kindly invite a colleague who has not joined in. Tell them that we are on. We are on, and we are ready to start. Okay. So I want to welcome you to today's book club meeting. I can't even share my screen now, but we are in season 13, the second part of season 13 of the I'm Leading Book Club. And today we are reading the second book that we have been reading in the book club, and the book is Execution, the Unleashing the Power to Achieve Personal and Corporate Results. And we are so privileged today. We have the author himself with us today, and he's going to share with us. Is going to share with us nuggets from the book shortly. So thank you so much. Now this one has confused me, but don't worry. So the book, today's topic is about execution, the power of taking action on your dreams. And we all know that we can be dreamers. We can actually dream, but without execution, nothing will work. Nothing will work without execution. So that's why we are here this evening to learn how the strategies to help us to execute. And we are also privileged to have amazing ladies from the book club who will share with us their own personal journey about how they have been executing their dreams while in the book club. So allow me now to check who is in as I work on my laptop. Let me see. I hope I'll be able to see you people because I'm not able to see anything. Okay. And see we are many of us. And I want to start with the ones who are not presenting. Members kindly allow me just to call people who are not presenting, and that is, I think, Emma Chepto. Emma Chepto, we can start with you as we work on this sharing of the screen for those who have a presentation. I'm sorry to call you out of the blues because you are not number one. But because of what you have faced this evening, I would like to call upon you so that you can share with us your story about executing your dreams. I want to introduce Emma for you. Emma Chepto, she's a dynamic financial transformation leader and change management strategist dedicated to empowering communities. Emma is passionate about fostering positive change and growth. She's a proud wife and nurturing mother of 3 beautiful children, and she has been with us in the book club for many seasons. Emma Chepto, are you in the house? I'm not able to see all of us. Emma?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Coach. I'm in the house.
Great. Thank you so much for saving the day. Karibu sana.
Asante. I don't know if I should put my video on. Am I visible?
Yes, you can put so that we don't get lost.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. And I'd love to just appreciate this opportunity. I want to acknowledge Shadrach Radido, the author. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate each and every person who has taken time to join us. Asante sana. Thank you as well to Coach Ebo Lois, who has been guiding us through the book club journey the whole year and many years for those who have been there before. this has been very transformational to me. So let me just go straight ahead and delve into the book. And Coach, with your permission, I don't know if you will allow the author as well to interject once in a while, or I don't know the format that you have chosen for us to go through.
No, just go ahead, make your presentation, and then at the end of it, I think after you, it will be already 7. We shall invite the author to speak to us.
Okay, thank you. So for me, I will go into the reality of how I interacted with the book. First and foremost, I'd love to appreciate the fact that the book was very easy to relate with. It was real, especially to the context of our workspace, our personal lives, our family setup, and more so, I loved the case studies that were brought out. So the first, I'll go to chapters, so I'll summarize on how I engaged with each of it personally. So the first chapter, I would say the author stressed on the significance of what the execution means to us and what it entails in regarding to us being successful in terms of the significance of the execution to our lives, significance of execution to our work, and as well in our every aspect of life. So when you look at the definition of execution, what carried me and what impacted me carefully was it is a core of our existence. Radido came in strongly and mentioned that it is our inborn creativity, ideas, and talents. So what that meant to me, and even for the people I've shared the insights with, is we are all born to be executors. But it is our decision as individuals to choose, are we going to execute all whatever aspect of life that we have, or are we going to, as he called it in the second chapter, exit? Then within the chapter, there's a place he mentioned, eyes that look are many, but that eyes that see opportunities are very few. So there are opportunities around our lives, there are opportunities around our space, but few people are able to pick the opportunities and carry it on in regards to execution and turn those opportunities into gold mines that now they bring out from an aspect of solving world problems and creating impact. For the sake of the people who have not gone through the chapters, he started with the Wright brothers, who any person or anyone who has encountered aviation, they're the first people who came into limelight, and they're the people who invented or innovated the aspect of flying. So for me, I looked at it and said, through execution, we are able to set goals and objectives. And based on what the author mentioned, it is upon the execution that enables us to develop processes that he coined it into 4 phases: concept, planning, and then the real thing, execution, and transferring. So that will enable you to finish the goals and objectives you had set for yourself. Then secondly, I will talk about competitive advantage, where he mentioned, as I had earlier mentioned, highlighted, you either execute or exit. When you look at the corporate career where most of us are, or any part of your life, be it entrepreneurial, be it family, whatever you set yourself to do in terms of solving any particular issue or achieving the set goals, if you don't execute, there's a way you will exit, and the exit might be an elimination either by employers, elimination in regards to competition coming and taking over. So for you to be able to have the competitive advantage, he has discussed how effective execution differentiates successful individuals and organizations in our competitive landscape by providing a strategic edge. So the question is, how have I prepared myself as Emma to be able to operate in that competitive landscape and stay afloat and be sustainable within the market or the field I'm playing in? Then there was also a very interesting quote in the chapter where he mentioned Mohammed bin Rashid's quote within his book, where he said, "Win the present, but set pace for the future." So that for me, I picked sustainability. So through the element of execution, you earn yourself a competitive advantage, and that competitive advantage, you're able to sustain it long term. So as much as we all have tactics, it's also tactical plans. Those tactical plans, through execution, you're able to come up with strategic objectives and goals and visions that will be able to make you and maintain yourself afloat for long term. Then there's also a very interesting phrase he said: ideas don't just play favorites, but when it's tied to execution, transformation happens and fortunes are created. That we can pick page 49 and page 56 respectively. So when you look at that aspect, what I got from Shadrach is we all have the same opportunity, but do we play favorites? Do we tie it to execution? Do we transform those opportunities to make sure that things happen? And then how do we turn those things into fortunes? Look at companies like Xerox, who lost an opportunity. And I love the case, I think I had mentioned, I love the case study on how he brought out the aspect of execution. Look at the opportunities that Blockbuster missed in terms of acquiring Netflix. And look at Netflix right now, the way it has changed the world of entertainment, and they are making fortunes in regards to money. So look at the opportunity that Google missed in regards to, not Google, but Exite, when they had an opportunity to invest into Google with very few dollars. Look at how much Google right now is running the show with. So for me, what I picked is ideas don't play, but when it's tied to execution, transformation happens. And that is where now you develop your plan and you're able to effectively execute. Then when you go to when I move to the next chapter, where he emphasized in terms of the must-haves for an effective executor. I think this is what I loved most about this chapter is the Radido triangle of execution. He coined it in a different perspective. Of course, there's an element where when we were starting the book, he mentioned about it being an art and a science. For me, what I carried home from Radido is the triangle of execution, knowledge of thyself, knowledge where he actually, I feel like he actually redefined execution with these three aspects: knowledge of thyself, knowledge of the marketplace, and knowledge of the product/services. And the most important thing about knowledge of thyself that I took home was, how do I leverage my strength? How do I address the weaknesses proactively that I have? So he brought it out from in a different perspective, but that is what deeply went and rang home to me. How do I align with the values? Where I discovered, as much as we execute tasks in alignment with our personal values for a sense of purpose and commitment, what does that mean to me as Emma? What does that mean to me in my family, at workplace? And how do I carry that along to make sure that I execute on whatever goals and aspirations and objectives I've set for myself? Then he also was very keen in terms of adaptability and learning, where he said we need to foster adaptability through continuous self-awareness and commitment on ongoing learning. There's a phrase he mentioned that I really loved in terms of knowing thyself. And he said, we need to associate, we need to get out and network and connect with people. And through that, it makes you discover opportunities. And then how do you carry it to execution? So for me, that was a bell that really rang. And he was very categorical in regards to when you're networking, what habits do you have? How do you do it? And as an individual, I'll just give you a story. While before I read the book, I think a few years ago, I discovered I would go for cocktail for corporates, through corporate invitation, through works, especially when I was in the banking industry. And he mentioned what I was struggling with. I would look for a friend that I'm used to within the industry so that I would be able to go and catch up. But he was saying, no, are you looking for the same? You need to, what I picked myself is, there is need for you to go and have courage and confidence to meet a new person, be able to carry on conversations. And the challenge he pointed out was, you need to make sure you as well take up the conversation and ensure that you conclude it by execution. So for instance, it's a new business partner or opportunity you have encountered. It's a product you have sold to this person, or areas of opportunities that might have come up during the conversation, or partnerships or collaboration. How do you carry on, or do you just put the cards and say, I met so and so? How do you carry out that conversation to ensure it becomes meaningful for both parties? Then through that, I also picked there's need to enhance communication and collaboration. So what it meant to me, how do I understand different communication styles, interpersonal dynamics for effective collaboration in execution? So those are the questions that lingered through as I was reading this book. Then it also gave me a challenge in terms of decision-making clarity. How do I make informed decisions? By considering personal biases and preferences during the execution process. So that was very, 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 to me, mind-opening. And I felt the book was talking to me. And through the reading, the points I would take down, and I think I would say I have read this book, I think more than 3 times since Coach, you delivered it to me. And I was among the last one to take it up from you, was it made me reflect through the various activities I carry on. I'm a good golfer. I love golfing. During my free time, I ask myself, those relationships and conversations and engagements that I relate to through golfing and through the other aspects of my life, how many have translated to meaningful connections? The ones that have not translated to meaningful connections, how can I challenge myself to be able to ensure that I can be able to carry the conversations or the learning points to it to the end? Then what I learned it from a corporate perspective, because I lead a number of people under me, is meeting stakeholder expectations. Once you have read through the book, when you go to chapter 3, 4, what you discover is it also sets you apart, and it gives you a perspective of how do you manage all the stakeholders. My insurance industry, we have regulators, we have shareholders, we have directors, we have clients. So it gives you, it has given me an edge in terms of commitment to meeting stakeholder expectations by delving into aligning the outcomes with what stakeholders anticipate. So for me, this has been very impactful. Then the other last key takeaway that I learned through the book is every success and failure is a lesson. So through this book, in terms of execution, it has also triggered me in terms of how do I pick the learning points in all areas of my life. There are those things that I will try and it doesn't succeed. There are different concepts you will pick up along the lines you'd want to say, let me try this model, then it doesn't work. So how quickly do I stop that and then dust myself, pick myself up and ensure I learn from those failures and come up now with a different concept with confidence, because I'll have understood what didn't work in regards to the other concept, and be able to set another goal and be able to execute it to the end. So coach and team, those are my key takeaways from this book. So
Wow.
my time, allow me to hand it over to you. Then I'll be able to continue.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Emma. Immaculate Shepto. She is the managing director of Viva 365 Insurance Brokers. And from where you sit, Emma, I can get that you really resonate with the book because you are leading a team, and you know that without without a strategy, all your execution is aimless, as we read in the book. So seeing you get the book among the last people, then reading it, you've told us 3 times. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Congratulations for this, you know? Yeah, because you are trying to align everything at the workplace so that each and every member can execute. Thank you so much for your takeaways. Now, I want us to have one more speaker before we get the author to talk to us. The reason being that at least I want the author to feel where we have reached with the book so that he can dive with us. So I want to invite our next speaker very briefly. Her name is Brenda Abwavo Mukunzi. She is the HR and administration manager at Stima Sacco. She is a seasoned HR practitioner, a certified HR practitioner, and she's a performance management emphasis, talent management, and she thrives to ensure cohesive employee relations. She is very passionate with working with children, and she's a firm believer in Christ. And she tells me that she loves fashionable clothes and always looks forward to looking her best every day. Brenda has also been with us, just like Emma, for several seasons in the book club. Brenda, take it away. Wow. Brenda, I hope
Thank you,
you're in the
Coach.
house.
Thank you. I am.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And
do I share on your behalf, or you're going to share?
You can share. It's okay. I have no problem.
Okay, sawa sawa.
If it is okay with you.
I hope it will work.
If it okay, then let me do it. Let me do it.
Just do it. Yes, just do it.
I hope it can be seen. So
yes, just the slideshow. Make it bigger.
Yes, let me just move it to the slideshow. Just a minute.
Yes.
Yes. Just let me stop sharing and first make it into the slideshow. Okay, I hope now I can. No, unfortunately, when I do that, I have to. My screen closes. Let me just try again now. Okay, and then I put it on the slideshow. There's this bar of Zoom is blocking my view for just a minute. Where is it? Okay, I'm trying to look for them to reduce it so that I can.
I think you are good.
Okay, fine. Let me just continue.
Yeah, just continue.
The Zoom bar is preventing me to see the viewing bar, but it's okay.
Right.
So thank you very much, Emma, for what you went through and what you went through the book. You've shared quite many insights. I won't repeat, so I'll just go quickly. For me, what I really resonated with was the triangle, and my learnings I'll focus on the on the execution triangle. And for me, just those three aspects of knowing thyself. Because from the word go, the book tells us that all of us are actually, we have innate abilities to be creative. We have innate abilities to have ideas and to be able to do, and talent. So all of us are able to achieve something. All of us are able to actually execute, because that's the nature of man, that you come up with ideas and you are able to actually execute. So when he went straight to the triangle of execution, that for me was one of my key takeaways among the many others that he shared through the things that we, basically the things that we needed to do. Nothing can be done without execution. So I'll just focus on the learnings I received from here. Because for me, actually, when I was looking at the knowledge of thyself, it's very important for any leader, as a business leader, knowing yourself, that self-awareness. That for me, I took that as a very key takeaway for me, that I have to learn and know who I am. How do I improve on who I am? I look at my strengths and my weaknesses. I work on my strengths and reduce my weaknesses. I've always, when I talk to my people, my friends and my colleagues and many people, most of the times I'm told I talk too much. So I'm told, hey, chill. Take time to listen to people and let people just express themselves fully. So that one I've picked, that I have to keep being conscious of who I am. Keep being conscious that, okay, when somebody is talking, can I give them time to really finish and express themselves to completion, instead of just immediately somebody talks and you are interjecting and saying something. So that is it's something I discovered I have a weakness on, and I'm working on. I'm continuously working on that. And then looking at my passions. What are my passions? What are the things I love doing? So basically, I'm personally passionate about traveling, exercising, dealing with children. And when I just do, every time I am with children and we discuss something, they have a different view of things. They don't think like us. They are so simplistic in their approach to issues. They help me see the world in a different perspective. The same thing to traveling. I travel in many times. I take opportunities to travel locally, regionally, and wherever I can. And when I do that, it also helps me see the world in a different perspective. So I look at these passions, and every time I'm going out there, I'm teaching children, I am exercising, I'm experiencing these new perspectives that I have to experience through these interactions. So that knowing myself was very key. And because I'm a believer and I focus on Christian values in everything I do. One other thing that knowing myself, I was looking at this, is the importance of journaling. So I have really improved in my journaling and focusing on the everyday learnings from the book, from the various seasons that we've been in. Just that, focusing on that, because even from that, as I write things down, I am able to, it's a point that I'm able to even improve on knowledge of myself. So, and then seeking feedback from my family, friends, and colleagues on areas that I need to work on. So that is one area that I enjoyed, looking at that triangle and just focusing it on myself and seeing, how does this triangle help me execute? Because once I know my areas of weaknesses, as I talk to people, as I talk to my colleagues, as I talk to my friends, then I'm able to do a lot with what I have learned. Then building intentional networks of friends and professionals. I really like the networking bit. I am actually in the same category as Emma. I used to go for networking events, and the first thing is looking at the list, especially when we are signing attendance lists. I look at the list and see, who do I know? Those are the people I'm looking for. Who do I know on those lists? And then I scan around the room and check, who do I know in those lists? But now learning that that was a don't, for me, that was a wake-up call. That when I'm out there in the various networking opportunities that are there, I should be looking forward to bumping into anybody else and building new connections, not just focusing on the connections that I have. So though I have many those intentional network of friends and professionals, it's important that I get into other networks. Yes, I have my chamas, I have the professional body that I am in, I have travel buddies and church small groups, but focus should be getting to know newer people as we go along. And I've purposed, in fact, I have a group that I want to travel with in a short while that are strangers that we have just met in a certain group, and we decided, okay, we'll do something together, because that's what this book is encouraging me to do, not just focus on the people that I've always known, all the people that I've always worked with and all that. So for me, that hanging out with friends and buddies was a key learning that was a daunt for me, that I have to really, it's a hard one to just unlearn that, but it's part of growing is unlearning and relearning and then learning again. So that is one area that I'm really working on. The beauty of this book is that it's realistic, that you can work on these challenges that you have. All those challenges that are making us not execute effectively. These are the things we can learn from it. So we are learning. So it is, yes, I have been doing things wrongly, but now I have an opportunity. As I learn these challenges of networking, I can now do the right thing. So now I'm looking forward to the next events that I'll just be searching for people I have no clue who they are, but then getting to find new people to interact with. So hoping that I'll meet some of you in the course of those sessions, so that we can also know one another. So that was a good thing to learn. And then being a HR professional, when he talked about getting to know what you need to get done, getting the right people, ensuring that the people know what they need to get done, and developing them, all this is the whole cycle of employee resourcing, the whole cycle of engaging a professional in an institution, the whole cycle of talent management. That for me was interesting, that actually it's part of the execution. If I don't get it right at the beginning, I don't know what I need, then I'll not get the right people. I'll not know what to do with them. I might train them in things that are not important, and then I'll never get things done. So that for me was really key. That is nice. And then I looked at the three principles that he told us of execution. The believing. First, you have to believe in your own idea. Once you believe in your own idea, you then begin, and then you become. So for me, those were very things that are just practical, that you cannot start something, or rather you cannot execute what you do not have. You have to have it. That idea that is in your head, that idea that is in your mind, that idea that is wherever it is, you have to believe that that idea is worth pursuing, and then just pursue it. And then as you pursue it, it becomes whatever it metamorphoses to be. Then let it be, because that for me is very simple, very realistic, nothing too hard, nothing complex about it. It's just how it is, that yes, have that idea. And for me, I was able to at the beginning of the year, I think, I can't remember which book we were doing, but then we wrote certain goals, and I had some various goals that we wrote that we were supposed to achieve in the course of the year. And I did some of them. And then I think when we were reading this book, there was one that I kept postponing, and I kept telling myself, really, this one, I really need to do something else. Let me not. But then when I read this book and when we were looking at the 3 B's of execution, believe, and then just begin, and then it becomes, then I was like, now, why have I been struggling with this matter? Let me just finish it. And then finish this whole thing and tick it off from the many things that I needed to do. So in the course of last month, actually, I finished that project and I was so excited because I looked at it and I was like, actually, this thing was doable. I was postponing a matter that I just needed to complete. So I've managed to complete the 3 major projects that I was undertaking this year. I just believed they could work. And I said, okay, let me do this and finish it so that I'm able to finalize this whole project. So basically, this book has been very practical. You don't have to think very hard about this book. Once you read it, it just tells you of the simple things that you need to do. Have your idea ready, and you're able to do it, and you're able to just, when you begin it, work on it, get feedback from people, work on yourself. Once you work on yourself, know what you have to provide to the market, and the market is open. He mentioned that the market is enough for many ideas, for many things. The marketplace is full of ideas, services, and everything that you need to do. So there is nobody who can lack something to provide in this marketplace, whether it is your talents, whether it is your skills, whether it is your passion that you have, you are able to do something out here. So the book is very simplistic in terms of making things look doable, making things look achievable. It actually encourages you. It's not something that you look and see, this is very tough. Reading the book was quite easy. Reading the book was interesting because it encourages you to see that actually you are able to do these things. There is nothing hard under the sun. Everything else is doable. So that's what I'll focus on for now. Otherwise, there were so many learnings, but this book was simple and practical in terms of just letting us reach out into ourselves and be able to actually do what we want to do. So thank you very much, Coach Lois. I have one last slide which I had put there, just showing the things that my personal pleasures, which is teaching children. I really love children, teaching the children, traveling, and then also personal learning development, reading, and then exercise. The exercise photos were not so nice, so I did not share. Thank you, Coach Lloyd, for the opportunity to just share the little that I've learned from this book. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Brenda. This is amazing. You are one of the ladies that shows up in the book club, like literally every day. Brenda is there. Brenda is present. She is a master executor. She's always there with her workout, with her victory hour. She is there sharing with us what she has done every day. An accountable leader she is. No wonder she's in HR. Brenda, when you told me about the projects that you have accomplished, things that you wanted to do this year, like the leadership program at Strathmore University, I just said, wow, indeed, you are an executor. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best as we move on to season 14, starting in January. Kindly give Brenda some love hearts in the chat. Wow, it is getting better and better. And I hope our author, the author of the book we are reading today, Execution, Unleashing the Power to Achieve Personal and Corporate Results. So members, as you interacted with the book, you realize that this is not like our normal book that we usually read. It had both personal results and corporate results. And I'm so glad that Emma and Brenda have interacted with it both at those levels, at personal and at corporate level. And indeed, we are all aspiring CEOs of our own organizations. Indeed, Mr. Radido told us about knowing the marketplace, knowing your product, knowing yourself, and Brenda has gone through that, and Emma. So allow me now to invite our speaker, our guest speaker, so that we can hear from him before I call 2 or 3 other ladies. Allow me to share just a minute. Oh my. Okay. This is not working. Today is terrible. But anyway, I'm sure you have all seen the flyer I'd posted of Mr. Shadrach Radido. He is the author of the book Execution that we are reading, and with other several books. Those who were at the graduation, who were able to buy the planner, which accompanies the book. We were also able to get the other book, Hopeless Money, a very interesting book. And another book, what was it? I think Intentionality. There are several other books by our author, Shadrach Radido. Mr. Shadrach Radido is the CEO of House of Wealth Publishers, and he is a sought-after speaker, trainer, and consultant. Mr. Radido, we are so excited to have you this evening, and we can't wait to hear from you. Welcome, and take it away.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you.
Oh my, I am melted. I don't have words. Completely, I do not have words to express how I am feeling. I am so excited. I am so humble, and I am grateful. I'm grateful for the feedback that I am receiving, the reviews. Actually, I've been wondering and asking myself, am I the one who really wrote this book? Because based on the response and the recap that I have gotten so far, I am humbled. I am truly humbled, completely humbled. And those are just two presenters that I've reviewed. So I do not know what is in store from the rest of the presenters, but I am super excited.
You have to stay on, Mr. Radido, and listen to the others. You can't go. They are waiting for you to hear them.
Yeah. Let me just ask both Emma and Brenda that I've shared so far, and you have just melted my heart. What other book titles of me do you have? Emma, please.
Thank you, Mr. Radido. This is the first book I took this season through Coach Lois. After this, I will have to order all the rest, because I also plan to buy for all my team members, because this is just transformational. So thank you.
Wow. Okay, good. Brenda?
Amazing. Thank you. I've experienced you first. This was my first time interacting with your book, and it was very, really, it was just, as I said, very well explained. So I look forward to looking at what other reads you have out there.
Wow. So this is what I'll do. The execution book goes hand in hand with the execution planner. This one, as it goes hand in hand with the execution planner. So what I'll do, both Emma and Brenda, I'll gift you a copy of the execution planner.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am super humble and excited. I'm feeling like actually I'm not the one who did this book based on the reviews that you guys are mentioning.
Yes.
I am excited.
from the chat that the others who have read other books, the ones who got these other books from you.
Yes, yes, yes. And it was super engaging, each of the team members. And having a participant of 45 in an evening like this, Coach, you are doing an amazing job. You are indeed transforming society one person at a time, because if we capture individuals from the personal development perspective, then you've transformed the society, because it begins from the mind. Both success and failure begins from the mind. And I remember one of my very good mentors, he mentioned that if you walk with nine broke people, you become the 10th one. Just by walking with 9 broke people, you become the 10th. I don't know how, but I believe through the power of association, you either their laziness is transferred to you, or they slow you down if you are chap. But if you walk with 9 broke people, you become the 10th one. And the opposite is also true. If you walk with 9 successful people, you will equally become successful. And that one works through the concept of, assume that you have a perfume on your hand that you want to spray, let's say, to someone's clothes. Just by spraying that perfume to that person, not to yourself, if you smell your finger, you will smell perfume in your hand. Yet you've not, apply for perfume in your hands. So which also means that if you connect with other people who are moving forward and who are succeeding, you will begin to learn from them. And one of the key things that you begin to learn is, one, how they think and how they manage their time, and also how they plan their execution, concept and strategies. But today, you guys have melted my heart completely. I lack words. I even don't I don't have anything else to add from what Emma has mentioned, what Brenda's recap. Everyone is like an entire, is actually the entire summary of the book, from the last section of the believe, begin, become, to the very first section of the introducing the concept of execution. You guys have done an amazing job. I love this book club. I just love it. So this evening I want to share, just to do a recap on the concept of execution, to remind ourselves, nothing else, just to remind ourselves on execution. And I believe execution matters in every aspect of our life, every aspect of what we do. Execution settles as the foundation. It settles as the foundation of each and everything that we do outside here, in the marketplace, in our various families, and in the things that, let's say, God has given unto us. They all rise and fall on execution. And there's a bold statement that I usually mention and I repeat to corporate organizations that we are privileged to be engaging, that everything rise and fall on execution. We used to say that everything rise and fall on leadership. But having gotten the opportunity to critically look at that statement, everything rise and fall on leadership, I realized that any leadership that doesn't place a premium on execution is doomed to fail. Any leader who is not good at execution will not go anywhere. Any person who is not good at execution will not go anywhere, will not do anything. And it's also true that any person who is good at execution, even if that person is not given any leadership position and is just good at execution, the rest of the the rest of the organization or the rest of the team members, normally they rally, behind that person. Why? Because that person is good at getting things done. And execution is all about getting things done. Whether you went to Harvard, university, or you went to a certain secondary school somewhere, if that person went to a certain secondary school somewhere that is not known, if that person is good at execution, he will beat this other person who is good at having papers that shows the great schools that he or she attended. So my challenge also to you is that at the end of the day, we focus on execution at all costs, because everything rise and fall on our abilities to execute. And what Emma reminded us, that is both a science and an art. Execution is both a science and an art. So I'll just do some bit of reminding ourselves on this bit. I believe my screen at least is showing a bit of, I don't know if it is showing on your end. Coach?
Yes, it is. It is.
Super. So this is just a bit of my intro. Last time we were having a discussion and you know what happened, Coach? We never
Yes.
opened anything. We just discussed.
I know.
Yeah, so no, it's quite the same. Let me just guide the discussion.
Yes.
So like I mentioned last time during the graduation that I'm privileged to oversee House of Wealth Publishers. And on a personal capacity, I've been privileged to pen a number of books. One of them being this one that is titled Homeless Money. And as Homeless Money, Understanding the Secret to Attracting Money and Creating Wealth. And in this book, I'm saying that every time a solution is given to a problem, transaction take place and money exchanges hands. Every time you provide a solution to a problem in the marketplace, people will pay you. So the best concept is looking at the marketplace, looking for problems. Like we are fond of saying, oh, Kenya has lots of problems. To me, I try to look at that phrase through the eyes of execution or through the eyes of solving problems. If Kenya has so much problem, then it means that there are opportunities for us to capitalize on the return when we provide solutions to those problems. So this one of the books talks about homeless money. And the concept here is that you don't chase money, you attract money. Money is not chased, money is attracted. Even those of us who are in enterprise, if we wake up in the morning with the mindset of looking for money, we will never get it. But if you wake up in the morning and organize our teams on how we can either look for a problem or solve a problem that we have already identified, you provide solution, homeless money will come. And here in also this book, I'm saying that the staff members in your office, you are not the one who have employed them. They have employed themselves. What you've just done as a team leader, the MD or the CEO, is just to create that environment through the vision or the ideas that God has given you. You create an environment, and then when they come on board, helping to solve problems through the vehicle that is called your company that you've created, through that, as they solve problems and become good at the execution, the organization will make money, or the organization will make return. And everyone in the organization will benefit because there are returns that the organization is making. So that's the message that is in one of these. Then there is, of course, execution that we are discussing here. On top, I've said ideas don't make you rich. execution of those ideas does. And I'm glad that this has been one of your books that you've been studying. And I'm super humble. You don't know how much, you don't know how I'm feeling inside, that I'm just listening to people, who have studied the book. And you're mentioning to me, the author, what is in page 57, the radial triangle of execution, what is in the last page, believe, begin, become, all this. This shows that actually you did not read the book, but you studied it. Even the Bible mentioned to us that we need to study so that we can show ourselves approved. You don't show others, you show yourself, because study is for your own benefit. When you study, your headquarter increases. In wisdom, this one has the headquarter, because this is the center where, God drops ideas there so that we can act on them. So I am happy, and I'm humble. Another book is called Intentionality, that I've been privileged to also pen. And then there's Execution Plan. There's a book that I'm currently working on. Once it's out, I will let the public know so that at least they can get stuff of value from it. So from the personal level, this is the stuff that I've been working on. Also adding to the body of knowledge in our marketplace. At the corporate level, through publishing, we're also involved in working with the other authors and helping them to publish and to write books. We work with them through the journey of writing until their books are out. So it's been an exciting journey working with different people, different authors, those who come to us believing that they have a book in themselves and they do not know how to birth it. We work with them through that concept until their book is out. Whatever kind of a person in the marketplace, whether the corporate CEO in a certain corner or anyone who's a beginning author, we begin the journey with them and work with them until their content is ready. And we are humbled to be doing that. Also, there's a bit of corporate training that we've been doing and adding value to different people in the marketplace and just connecting with them and helping them understand the message of execution. Most of the time, we are involved in capacity building training for staff members in organization on the area of execution, and we are just humbled. I may not go through everything in the slide because you guys have summarized everything. You've just summarized everything because it shows that in your fingertips, you have it. You've gotten the concept, whether it's on personal progress or whether it's on corporate progress, because execution cut across both at the personal level and at the corporate level. And in the discussion, you've read statement and phrases where I'm asking, how comes some are able to dream, get an idea, the next thing they've done it. Others, they were given the same idea by the creator, the same idea, because our creator is very creative. And the good thing with him is that he never finished the creation process because he wanted us to continue with it. That's why even in the Bible, God never named any animal or any creature. It is Adam's responsibility which he was handed that docket of naming them. And whatever name he gave a certain creature, that was the name that creature will have. And also, if you also look at the bit of the enterprise, and I remember in the dinner I shared that during the graduation, that in the creation story, part of Genesis, he mentioned that a river was flowing through the Garden of Eden. One river flowing in a Garden of Eden. And that one same river is able to flow in four different directions. So looking at it from my personal perspective, looking at that scripture and studying that phrase that there's one river that is flowing, and that same river, after flowing for a while, it reaches to a point whereby it is separating into four different directions. So I looked at it this way, that maybe that one river could be one source of income or one source of enterprise, that you do the business or you do that job, you accumulate funds from it, and then from the same funds that you've accumulated, you create other streams of income. I looked at it that way, and I realized that, and I asked myself, could it be that our Creator is telling us that the minimum streams of income we need to have is 4? Because if one river could flow and separate in 4 directions so that it can serve the entire Garden of Eden, why should I struggle with one source of income if my Creator could create one river and divide it into 4 streams? So those are some of the few things, and also those are some of the discussion that I've stretched them further in the homeless man, to a sense that maybe me and you, the minimum streams of income we need to have is 4. And the beginning point could be one source or one job. You start it, or you are employed in a certain organization, you work there, you save, and then you begin to put your saving in ventures or in platform or in money markets or in different funds so they can bring returns to you. Why? Because I know all of us, all the 45 here, we don't have one source of expense. We don't have one stream of expense. We have multiple streams of expenses. A house, you're maybe paying a mortgage, or there's rent there. There's food in the house, that's another expense. There's clothing that you put on, is another expense. If you have multiple streams of expenses, why rely on one stream of income? Those are some of the questions that maybe I'm throwing to us, so that maybe moving forward, or even coming to the new year, you can set a goal and say, okay, 2023 has been like this. 2024, am I able to create another stream of income? There's another phrase that we've been using and telling ourselves that we need to live below our means. We need to live, you and me need to live below our means. So I've been also asking myself, okay, what is God saying about that bit? Or is it true that I need to live below my means? Why not create my means so that my means can become many to help me sustain the kind of lifestyle that I am asking God to give me? Because maybe some of us can correct me on this. I also noted and I also learned that God does not give money. When you pray to God to give you money, He will give you an idea, or he'll give you an ability. So it's upon you to make use of the idea or to make use of the abilities, so that when you solve a problem, you begin to get returns in various ways. And I've been asking myself, if indeed God does not give money and He gives me an idea, maybe the reason as why He doesn't give me money is because if I ask Him for money, right now in His table of currencies, maybe He operates in dollars. And I'm there asking for Kenya shillings, we all know what's happening in the Kenyan currency. Maybe you're asking for 1 million Kenya shillings. And if he does the conversion, you only realize that that is only 10,000 US dollars. And he doesn't operate in Kenya shillings or Zimbabwe currency or Rwandan francs, or Japanese yen. He only operates in the currency that is not changing. That's why even, I'm sure even in our various Bible, we realize that he operates in gold, the gold currencies, because the value of gold is not depreciating, it keeps on moving higher. That's a discussion for another time. But those are some of the things that I've been, asking myself. What is my creator thinking at the moment? Or what was he thinking when I was being created, or what was I created to pursue? But I've come to understand that after all those questions, the bottom line now narrows down to execution. That everything rise and fall on execution. And if I am good at execution, there is no place in this world that a door will not open to me if I am good at execution. God will create a table and I will sit down with kings and queens and discuss with them. Why am I sitting down with them? Because I am bringing value on the table. If what I am bringing on the table is not valuable to them, or if they are not seeing value from me, from what I'm offering, either as solutions, because most of them, they want to hear problems, because there are many problems. They want to hear either strategies for execution or ways of, of providing solutions to existing problems. So if me and you can begin moving forward, or getting into the year 2024, knowing that at the end of the day is execution that matters. Everything rise and fall on execution, because execution is a key differentiation that that separates those who have and those who don't have. It's execution, nothing else. And sometimes that bit of execution requires a combination of so many things. If one, for example, is not good at execution, that person requires a combination of, first of all, getting to understand the way Brenda mentioned and even Emma mentioned about the Radido triangle of execution. And in the execution book, all of us will agree that that triangle forms the basis of the discussion in the entire book. That for you to become good at the concept of execution, you need to understand what is your area of strength. Even as we employ team members in our various organizations, we may, if we have the eye, we may tend to look beyond the papers. Because somebody might come, that person has the papers, even more than required. But if we check, can this person get things done? If you onboard that person based on papers, you'll be disappointed 3, 4, 5 days or 1 month down the line, because you are not interested in the papers. Actually, after employing, the file for that team members usually plays at a shelf somewhere. And then now the question comes, can you get things done? Yes, I've seen your papers, you are good, but can you get things done? Can you provide answers that are needed? So understanding the concept of execution is really key. And I'm super humble that you guys got the concept. The concept is about the triangle. The concept is about the triangle, understanding yourself, and then understanding the product or the service that you're handling. If you understand the product or the service that you're handling, you'll be good to go. And you'll also understand that a product might change. Today, you'll be dealing with shoes. Tomorrow, you'll be dealing with, let's say, an insurance product. The product will change. And a product is also, a product also determines the marketplace. Today, you're dealing with shoes. Tomorrow, the stuff is different. But what will never change is your area of strength. Your area of strength will never change. And even the knowledge of yourself, the way you brand yourself as an individual. As an individual. I'll give an example. There was a time I was really down, but my mind was not down. So that time, or that early phase in my life, I had always ensure that in terms of the way I present myself based on where I am desiring to go, not where I am at the moment, or where you know, the situation has placed me. So there's this time I really wanted some shoes actually, and I went all the way to Gikomba to buy shoes. That particular time, I'd come from a function, and I just went straight to Gikomba, well presented. So I went, got the shoes that I wanted. Then I asked the person who was selling them, how much are you selling this? That person told me, okay, this one is going at 7,500. There's also another one that is also going at 9,000. There's another one that's going at 10,000. Just a shoe. I didn't have that budget then. So I looked at it and just asked myself, how comes maybe this person is telling me this price, yet could it be that he's giving the price based on the way I've presented myself? Actually, it was around 2:30 in the afternoon, and where I was staying was not that far from that place. So I just went home, I changed, I put on normal shoes or normal clothing, ile ya mwananchi tu ya kawaida. Then in the evening, I went to the same place, and I asked that guy, how much can I get these shoes from? And also, I am interested. I want to open a shop like this. Explain to me the sourcing where we get these things, and if I can get a stand or a space that I can display the shoes and the pricing also. So he actually told me, these things are gotten from abroad. They come in large bulk in containers, and they are cheap. You can get one at around from 14,500, 1450 to 1,700 there, and then you do your markup. You do your markup, and then based on the way the person presented themselves as they are coming to your shop, you sell to them based on the way they are presenting themselves. So I looked at it and nikajiuliza, okay, could it be the reason as to why when I came, you gave me a price based on how that person did not know that I'm the one who came later, and just to do some ground survey. I left that place having bought some 3 pairs with a price of 1,500. So I looked at it that in this way. Moving forward, if we present ourselves based on where we are desiring to go, the world will carry you based on the way you have presented yourself. And the world will place value to you based on the value that you have put in yourself. So the value that you have put in yourself is the value that will impact on others. You cannot give what you don't have. So even with the concept of the execution, if me and you build our execution capacity, opportunities will always be becoming our way. If me and you, that's why in this statement I'm saying, when we bring together the individual capacities that we have developed, we will have what is called corporate strength. And it is our corporate strength that will give us a competitive edge in the marketplace. For example, if you are the team leader of a certain organization, if you truly want value to come to that organization, create time to build value in your team members. That every team member that you have, whether that person is involved in making tea for the rest of the team members or the staff, that person actually is contributing to the execution story and the success of where the organization is heading to. And after doing that bit of making tea and I have some time on their hand, they learn on the execution concept or execution strategies and begin to test the market based on the product or the services that the company is offering, so that in their department or in their sphere, they can introduce to their colleagues or networks the values or the product that the organization that you as the team leader you are responsible for, so that every one of you can be involved in bringing in clients, rather than leaving marketing department, in which marketing and sales is, we are all responsible for that, not just that department alone, every one of us. But that one will only happen when you and I are good with this concept of execution. So I'll just run this through. I've wrote in the book that execution matters because nothing begins without execution. Everything revolves around execution. And I went deep and explained in the book based on this sub-theme. Then I said nothing happens without execution. I also reminded us that nothing develops without execution. And then nothing changes without execution. Then nothing progresses without execution. Eventually, nothing will succeed if me and you will not place a premium on execution, because everything rises and falls on execution. And even this has been the theme for the discussion, the execution concept, because everything revolves around this bit of execution. So and you've realized that our discussion just revolves around this segment. So I will maybe put a comma there, because I believe that based from the feedback that I'm receiving, you guys are good. You are just good. You are just good. I'm happy. I'm happy that this concept, this Radido triangle, and actually I just coined this. God just gave me the idea. For me, I can say I didn't write this book, but God wrote it through me, through my hands. I was just used as a vessel to pen the message here. So I cannot take credit that I'm the one who wrote this, I coined these statements. No. I know in my Noah that there is a God element involved in all the books that I have written. So he's the one who takes the credit in terms of the message, because he's the one who, inspires. And if he's the one who created the universe, then the creation bit is still continuing. He's still creating. And even you, the stuff that you need to unleash, he already deposited in you. So the best thing is to connect to his Wi-Fi through prayers and through asking him. And because when you ask, he says, you ask and it shall be given unto you. You knock, the doors will be open. And through that, after praying and after asking and after requesting, execution is the next bit. He will never execute on your behalf. He left that responsibility to you and me. So we always know, if we sleep hungry, it's not because of him, it's because of you and me maybe failing to become strategic, failing to network, failing to place a premium on execution and getting things done. But I believe through this concept, your strength, the product and the services that you offer, and the third one, the marketplace of those products and services. When you combine those three and understand that it is all about getting things done, you'll not even need to ask for returns or results. They'll always be coming. And this world always look for people who are good at execution. Those who are good at execution, wanga hawatafuti kazi, kazi ndio inawatafuta. The likes of this guy who was vying for Nairobi governorship. I don't know, I can't remember his name. Somebody gathered. He's done with, maybe he has failed in securing the seat. There's a company waiting for him. Okay, he leaves this organization, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, another company is looking for him. I believe they do that because they know this guy he has value in him. So which means that he has built himself. 2, it means that when you bring this kind of a person, introducing him to the product or the service will not be a difficult thing for him to master. And because the moment you have the product or the service, the next thing is to check the marketplace of that product. Then you go to that marketplace and talk to those who are in that sphere, and then boom, you begin to exchange and add value to the people. But allow me to wind up by saying this statement is in the Homeless Money book, that you can even write it down. The money you have is not yours. Yes, the money you have is not yours. And the money you need, you don't have. I repeat, the money you have is not yours. And the money you need, you don't have. So you always need to ask yourself, who has my money? And the answer to that is in execution. The money you have, part of it is for rent, part of it is for fuel, part of it is for whatever other expenses that are on your table. And the money you need, you don't have. You'll only have it when you execute, when you provide a solution to a problem in the marketplace. So when you use those concepts and you understand that it's all about getting things done, you'll always be waking up in the morning, asking God for direction, sitting down, do a planner, list down the things that you want to do for that particular day and hit the road and know that execution is what is needed outside there. And when you do that, God will continue to open and resources will always be coming your way and you will never lack. So for me, I am excited and I'm happy that I've been part of this. And I'm glad that you guys are connecting on a platform of value for the benefit of yourself and the rest of the society. Asanteni sana and God bless you. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Radido. That was powerful and profound. Thank you for summarizing the book so powerfully. The triangle, the Radido triangle. Know thyself, know the product, and know the marketplace. Wow, kindly appreciate our guest speaker this evening. We are so happy that he had time. Actually, he was telling me he's leaving. He has something else to do, but here he is, and we are so privileged. So allow me now to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is Jen Gikonyo. She is an HR leader with 2 decades of experience. She's very passionate. You can stop sharing, Mr. Radido. She's very passionate about mentoring and coaching the next generation of marketplace leaders. She is a sought-after speaker and coach. And I'm so happy and privileged to have known her. And most recently, she was awarded, kindly mute. And most recently, she was awarded the Career Mentor of the Year 2023 fast runners up. And she also tells me she is an accredited mediator. Jen Gikonyo, take it away.
Good
Jen?
evening, everyone.
Good
evening. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes.
All right. Allow me to share. So thank you very much for the opportunity to share my insights in terms of the book. It's so interesting that you could come after the other has spoken. There's so much to pick from him, but I think we say that learning is continuous. You keep learning by repetition. You hear one thing, you hear it again until you get to master it. But I don't think you'll ever master, because every time you get a new version of what you're learning. Very thankful for having gone through the coach has said in the HR space, and one of the things that we really struggle with is execution. But today I choose of execution and what has been my struggle in execution, and reading through the books. What are some of the achieve? We don't. The higher the value.
Okay. I think you are breaking, Jen. You are breaking. I think the net. Okay. I think she'll be coming back. Thank you so much, members, for your comments. Appreciating our guest speaker. Thank you. Wow, Jen Jenga says, bless you, Radido. Who has my money? Wow, execution. That's amazing, amazing. Professor Joyce Agalo says, thank you, Mr. Radido. That was indeed profound. Catherine Ochola says, that was powerful. Wow. Ruth Kituku, our educator here, says, thank you so much, Mr. Radido. That was profound. Mumbi says, thank you, Mr. Radido. That was powerful. Oh, Reverend Joyce, you are in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. Reverend Joyce also introduced me to Mr. Radido. As you could see, Reverend Joyce's book was published by House of Wealth, Mr. Radido there. Thank you so much for joining us. Lady Joyce, Reverend Joyce, asante sana. Elizabeth Marania says, God does not give you money, he gives you idea. Are you in the house, Joyce? Jen? Is Jen back in the house?
Yes, I am.
Okay, continue.
Yes,
Continue.
I am. Okay.
Okay. Are you there? Jen? Karibu sana, Lady Joyce. Always a pleasure to have you. Jen? I think Jen has an issue with the Wi-Fi. Today we have had challenges with the net, but all is well. Joyce, I mean, Jen, are you back? Okay. So that was Jen. Those who joined us, this is season 13 of the I'm Leading Book Club. We are moving now to season 14, starting January 2024. We usually have seasons as we read the book in terms of quarters. So the current book we have been listening to from the speakers who have been ahead of us is Execution. Execution by Shadrach Radido. I think, Jen, you are now back? Yes.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Karibu sana.
Right. So I will proceed. Apologies for that. And I think I'll just rush through my key takeout. I think this has been real takeout, and the very particular place of takeout is knowledge of the self. And like the other Shadrach has said, you cannot give what you don't have. And for example, how did I know that I have passion for coaching? It took a bit of time to know myself, to know what is it that is my calling? What is it that I do well? I have a profession in HR, but even in the HR space, what is it that I do very well? And as I started pursuing it, I realized that I'm able to do it with much more ease because then I am aware. And with that, then it helps you refine a product, and it helps you even define the market that is good for your product. So this has been very fundamental and foundational for me as I read the book and just being reactant. I'd like to share some of the things I picked in terms of personal executions, and I mean how I execute with ease, but re-emphasized in the book. And so I picked a bit of it. There was quite a bit to learn. And one thing is always start with the end in mind. You know, if you want to start a journey, look like, and almost have a feel of it. Yeah, look at it, actualize it in your mind. That vivid enthusiasm and the motivation. And being able to create the pathways and milestones. How will I know that I get there, and how am I going to be able to do that? Some of the other things I've learned in execution is the ability to fail. You know, one of the things that helps in being able to know yourself, for example, I'm very self-aware. If you've done the DISC assessment, I'm a very introverted person. And I know some of my personal characteristics could be derailers in terms of my execution. So learning that has been enabled me know what can I do differently. Changing my personal paradigms through some of the things we've learned in the book club, like being able to visualize, having affirmation to affirm what are the paradigms that probably lead you to self-talk that is negative. Then how fast can you adapt, you know, a lot of ease. You probably shy away from a lot of networking event. And one of the things I've had to work on even recently is being able to get out of my comfort, meet people. And it has been surprising how many doors have opened as I move out, even on the social media spaces, which was not my area of comfort. So many things start opening up when you take the first action. Then being able to celebrate any of the wins that you get has been fundamental. But let me tell you guys, and maybe to help somebody in the house, you could have a smart mind, but you could have struggling hands. And this was me. You know, you have a smart brain, you have great ideas that you think about how you're going to impact the whole world, how you're going to impact the youth, your generation, your organization. But it's good to identify in your route for execution, what are the things that derail you? And some of the things that were a derailer in my execution, and it was interesting to see the other pick a number of these, is overthinking. So you need to know your personality. Do you spend time overthinking, overanalyzing? Over time, I have learned now that I can work with 60% of information and be able to make decisions. You know, earlier on in my life, I thought being a perfectionist is a very good thing. I'd go to interviews and say I'm a perfectionist, but I've come to unlearn the perfectionism, because it's been a derailer. I want to execute, I want to move fast, but I look for every simple detail to be able to move. Fear of failure, you have solid plan, I'm a planner. Having many things distracting, the noise around us, imposter syndrome, am I good enough? So I'd like to ask you this evening, as you look at execution, and we have painted it so well, it's been painted very well by Brenda, Emma, and Shadrach. What are the things that could be derailing you from making that first step? It could be internal things that you need to work on. It is a level of self-awareness that will enable you move to the next level. And I'd like you to leave you with a small exercise. I've decided that we have talked a lot, so let me leave you with something to reflect on. And I'd like you to do a time audit. It's part of looking at, why haven't you been executing? Why isn't it that you've taken that first step to execute? And I'd like you to take a safari back in 2020, 3 years back. Where were you? 3 years back, who are you? Where were you? What were you doing? What were your plans? And what were your inspiration? 1 second, fast forward, we're in 2023, it's coming to an end. Where are you? And looking back to the things you wanted to do in 2020, are there things that you've done? Are there projects that you have pursued? Where are you? It's a personal audit, so you can take time, look through it. This is one of the economy. It's not because of my environment. It's because of derailers that we think.
Jen, I think there's a problem. We can't hear you.
Are you going to put in place? So I was just winding up. I hope you've not lost a lot. Hi, Coach.
Hi. Yes, continue.
Yeah, so take away the exercise, look back 3 years. Are there things you wanted to have didn't do, and what are you going to do it differently? And my call to action for all of us is that we cannot have any more essays after reading this book, after all the speakers today. We cannot have any further explanations, and we cannot focus on our emotions. We must do what we set out to do. Thank you very much.
Wow, amazing. No more excuses. You remind us of the book we read, The Power of Self-Discipline. No more excuses, no more explanations. You don't win on emotion. Definitely you don't win on emotions, you win on execution. Thank you so much, our award-winning career mentor. Wow, we are so happy to be associated with you. Kindly give Jen some love hearts in the comments. Thank you so much for being part of season 13. Members, season 14 is just on the corner. 2024 January, we embark a new journey, reading more and more, because leaders read, and readers are the only people who can lead. Thank you so much. That was powerful. Allow me now to introduce our next speaker. I'm moving fast because of time. As you can see, time is not on our side. Yes, that was Jen. We are done with her. Now it's Mumbi. So Mumbi is a born-again Christian saved by pure and unadulterated grace, a governance and democracy guru. She's a lawyer by profession. She says that she's a life member of Blue Waters Coaching, and that she is a single mother to a one and only heartbeat whom God has established in his infinite favor. She's an abundant woman. Mumbi is currently in the abundant woman class. She has had failures, but chose to fail forward. Wow, thank you for the other book that we read, Failing Forward, and is still failing forward. Wow. She says she has been literally transfigured. Mumbi, that choice of word, transfigured, makes me laugh. By the book club and singles out her completion space in Abundant Woman of Excellence Program Cohort 4 with amazing women who have helped her overcome her self-limiting beliefs. She knows God has and continues to rewrite her story against all odds. Mumbi, wow, we can't wait to hear your story. Karibu sana, take it away.
Thank you, Coach. I think you'll allow me to share my screen.
Yes, please, you can.
One of the things I will say is that it is quite intimidating, and I kept praying that I will not come after Radido, because one, I was favored on my graduation of Abundant Woman, of Unleash the Leader, to have a book personalized to me. And it has been a powerful, I repeat, powerful experience. My summary, and I'll be very fast because I thank the speakers, Immaculate, Brenda, Radido. I am intimidated, but those are self-limiting beliefs where I have been taught by Coach Lois. And Jane, thank you very much for those powerful presentations. For me, the summary of this book is about self-confidence, the power of believing in yourself. And when you have the self-limiting beliefs, you are imperfect. But in God, because I'm a born-again Christian, you become perfect. And when you become perfect, then you are pictured to be pictured. And I borrow that from Jeremiah 29:11, that God says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And one of the people I look up to is Maya Angelou, and she said, I believe that the most important single thing beyond discipline and creativity is daring to dare. And that is the fundamental genesis of execution. So what I did with this book, it was, those who know me and have gone through programs with me, I am not by any standard a mathematical person. I don't like maths. And because of not liking maths, then I fail in finances, I fail in planning. So I tried as much as I could do to relate this book to me. And the first chapter, and I've reduced them in chapters, I picked the 4 concepts. But the statement that stood out, having a vision for what you want is not enough. Vision without execution is hallucination. And that for me was powerful. That lawyers have this thing, quote and unquote, we are learned friends. And that means that we cannot learn from others. And that is such a holocaust. It's a balloon. It's hallucination in itself because it's about interacting with people and enhancing who you are. So in chapter 1, what I picked were the 4 phases. The first one being concept. And concept is, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And you have to take time and realize what service do you want to offer? Who is your target? What strategy do you have in place? And because you are a bulb, this one is a bulb, then you create the process. And the process is about lighting where you want to go. But if you're lighting, then you have a magnifying glass. Where are your opportunities? And if you're getting there, then you must analyze what competition that you have. That for me in chapter 1 was profound. And the next one was you plan. You have to have a plan of where it is that you're going. After you have planned, then you have execution. And I used this as you're launching, you're going into your purpose, you're launching your rocket. But it is not enough to launch your rocket. It could collapse upon execution. You must transfer and finish your purpose. Then it took me to chapter 2. And Radido did it in such a profound way. He gave the 4 elements. And remember, your purpose is a free entry. What you dream is a free entry. It is you, your space, and your purpose. But you must be very deliberate on these 4 principles. Number 1, yes, you have a free entry, but it is your idea. Circumstances change, people change, your ideologies change, money fails you, but you must be open to change, number 1. Number 2, you must execute with a sense of urgency so that whatever you planned, if it changes, should it change, then what's next? You can't sit and coil down and start crying, oh, you know, I planned for this, but now it has changed. You must execute with a sense of urgency. Then you must adapt the business design to the changing conditions. And you must make decisions in what the presenters have said before by interacting with what Coach Loy says, mastermind, by attracting people who believe in your purpose. Now, I used this analogy. You're saying fire exit is you're going back to your purpose, your self-limiting beliefs. You're going back to whatever it is that you wanted, but because you don't believe in these fundamental principles, then you're going back to your cocoon of failure. But there's a fire exit outside. Because you have implemented these principles, then you will be able to change to the changing environment. The third one was, the other one was chapter 3, the must-haves of an effective executor. For me, that was profound because I looked at it from this perspective, and what I did, and forgive me, Mr. Radido, I created this to the perspective of individuals because a dream, a purpose, a plan, and like you said today, is personal. That the money I have belongs to some people. Where is my money? So I summarized your execution triangle to the triangle of personal. So that when I'm knowing myself, because it enables me to unleash my inborn talent and create ideas, I must take time out. As I am taking time out, then I must be accountable. Meaning I must work with people, and to me, it is the Blue Waters coaching, who will take me by my word. I said I will do this, and I have to be accountable to them. The second, about knowledge of the product, what do I want to do? I said, I'll do this. This is what I'm telling people. Then I must be consistent. And I can only be consistent if I know the product I want to give people. And the third one was in your triangle, knowledge of the marketplace. When you know where it is that you want to go, how you want to get there, what you need to do to get there, then you become reliable. And to me, that was reliability. The fourth chapter was about the execution culture. And this was deeply profound, that you're building a culture of execution. And a culture of execution starts with leadership. That you have leadership, you have a vision, but you cannot do it alone. You need people. And the people that you have then become your teamwork. And your teamwork then become actions, because you cannot have people you're leading who believe in your vision and they cannot act to realize your vision. What does it take? You must know yourself, understand your strengths, know how to measure your performance and progress. After you have done that, because you're dealing with people, do not use them. Reward those who have gotten you to your vision. And to me, and I think it was very profound, is that culture fuels brand. Your culture is your brand. And you've got to be thinking, who is Mumbi's brand? My brand is leadership. Because as a leader, I know my goal. How do I get there? I need people. And when the people get me there, what do I do to them? I don't use them. I then reward them. And my chapter 5 was about the execution factor, about forgetting what it is that you dreamt, what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to get to. Just focus on the next step. Because if you don't focus on the next step, I can tell you for a fact, there are so many disappointments that you easily lose your vision. And you can see from that is you define your problem, then you brainstorm your solution with your team, then you pick the most important solution, you implement it, and then after you have implemented, before you launch and get the results, then you must review. And even if you do get there, you must review what else can you do when you're executing to be better. You cannot remain in the same step. And in his book, there's one statement that caught my attention, that the hard part is deciding what to do with the idea once you have it. And I got a quote that was very profound to me. But if we ever want to get ahead, if we ever want to make progress and find success, we have to focus. We have to focus on the next right step. And that next right step is determined by the changing environment. Like now in this country, we are all up in arms about the tax levies. We are about the levies that we are paying. We are about the tax regime. We are about the Finance Act. That should not matter. Focus on the next step. You had a plan. Where are you going? The circumstances cannot determine where you're going. Then he took us to chapter 6. And for me, chapter 6, I've always thought today we're having a discussion about this book. And I thought, and when my colleague said a pit stop is about always thinking it is that person who directs a plane where to stop. And when I read this chapter, I realized, the pit stop of execution is about you knowing that you win through teams, the pit stop way. So that when you're planning and you're identifying your players, this is before. That you're all pulling in different directions. You all have divergent views. You're all unclear. You have lack of focus. You have your own private concerns and what it is that you want to derive from the process. But as a leader, and you're the vision bearer, you're the one who knows where you want to go. You must be able to bring these people together and then have a pit stop, this one. Your pit stop being appreciating that you have a group of people who have different strengths than you have, who have different abilities to get you to your purpose, and you sell your purpose to them, then they buy into it so that you pull together, you have a single view, you agree on your priorities, you clear direction and purpose, very clear direction, you have a public commitment, and you realize what it is that you want to achieve. But that cannot happen, and I love the way he cements it. He first builds the strategy. After building it, he then narrows it back down to you as your leader, as the leader, and where you want your team to go to. And that took us to chapter 7. What the CEO wants to know. If a CEO wants to go a certain direction, it is not enough to know where you want to go. You must mind where you want to go, settle it down to your mindset, give them your mindset, and they will be able to align. So that it is important as an individual, whether you are working or you're employed, whether you're giving service to humanity, whether you are a business entrepreneur, you must know that you cannot do it alone. You need people, and people are not angels. They only relate to what you speak, and what you speak is your mind. So for me, that was what chapter 7 was about. Then chapter 8, once you have done all these things, then you must maximize on your execution potential. And your execution potential simply, in loose parlance, means that you must be able to have a project execution plan. When you're meeting with them, and I like the way he summarizes it, I am one student who likes summarizing acronyms that you will always remember. A project execution plan is not one without what they call POD. That you must prioritize what you want. Why are you doing what you're doing? What do you want to achieve? What is your ultimate goal? Once you prioritize that, then you must organize around your areas of priority. And once that is done, then you must go beyond organizing, because you can organize, but you do not have the discipline to ensure that you brought these people together. You are the leader. You are the one with the vision. You are the one with the mission. You are the one with the purpose. You are the one with the values. So what? You must lead by example. And like I said, leadership. And I borrowed this from Coach Lois, that to be an effective leader, you must have what I call the IQ. You must be able to inspire, to impact and influence. And when you're influencing and impacting and inspiring, then you must be a leader who knows where you're going, very important. You know how to get where you're going, and then you must go beyond knowing. You must get where you're going, meaning that you must do what it takes to get where you're going. And I loosely call it umbwa, that you must be management by walking around. You can never delegate your vision. You must implement your vision. And one of the tasks I had as a seasoned, I said life coach member of BWC, is that I must demonstrate what execution has done to me. I did not know how deep it was, but it was midway of this book that I thought it is important for me to share my journey and what it is that I have done. For those ones who are here for the first time, to know it is doable, extremely doable. What have I executed in my personal journey? 1, intermittent fasting. I know there's data protection. I am not afraid of my journey, so I can demonstrate it. This is me before I started the book club. This is me midway the book club. And the picture on your right is me in the journey of a book club. That has been my journey. I have been consistent on intermittent fasting because I realized it is not sufficient. It is a self-limiting belief to use our weight, being it is a genetic. There is no genetic composition that grows without bad eating and without bad lifestyle habits. So that is what I have picked from the book club and from my consistency on intermittent fasting. The next one, if you want to grow as a person, if you want to make a change, if you want to make a difference, you must invest in self-growth. And self-growth is a personal decision. It is not sufficient for someone to tell you that you need to do this. It is you taking that personal responsibility of saying, I will invest in my personal growth. I can tell you that has been one of the hardest things, because the common man would think, so nalipa, how much is this? So napatiwa pesa. And you can easily think it's about Coach Lois. But ultimately, behind the curtain of time, and like Radido said, God does not give you money. And if you want money, you must have specialized knowledge. To have specialized knowledge, you must invest in programs. So as Mumbi, I have participated in 6 programs, I think. But one of the things that I have picked is that there are only 8 ways to attract abundance as an individual. Number 1 is to dare to dream. And you saw it in my first slide. And if you dare to dream, then you must shift your attitude. So that if a coach or if Radido tells you, I have a book, or by the way, Mr. Radido, thank you very much for homeless money. Money now has a home in my life, is that you must shift your attitude. That it is not about a person. It is about you to get to your purpose. The third one is build your own reality. And that is the hardest part, is that because reality, more often than not, if you have not invested in your personal growth, if you dwell in your past of negative experiences, and if you do not interact with the right people, which is this book club, and I am not selling it, I have nothing to gain. I just want to give people what I have realized, because I joined it about 2 years ago, very broken, is build your own reality. Stop focusing on the circumstances that surround you, because you are not abundant enough and brave enough to speak in your silence, even when you're broken. The fourth one is no more excuses. Stop making excuses for the choices that you make. Between 0 years of age and 18, you can blame people for the choices you make. But after 18 years old, when you have that national ID, then you are an adult enough to be jailed by the same choices that you make. I'm sorry, I'm using the analogy because I'm a lawyer of being jailed. So that then do not make excuses. Take responsibility for the choices you make, because you're stuck in your past. Break the eggshell. And with that, when I say that, if you're here, you've not done Unleash the Leader, oh, that's the place to be. It is the only way you will break your eggshell. The fifth one, do not sell yourself short. And they work together. The sixth one, take the initiative. And because you're here, you're sharing your stories, and I recognize the men who are present. Even if you've not been here, it is an opportunity for you to join this abundant space so that you take the initiative. It's your first step. The seventh one, don't rest on your laurels. Don't. It's the past. It belongs there. And for a Christian like me, the beauty of God, God is not like man. When you tell God sorry, he says he puts it in the sea of forgetfulness. He never brings it back. But because we want to be surrounded with these excuses of not being abundant, we keep fishing where God does not even matter. It doesn't even matter to him. And the eighth one is be wary of chasing perfection. I am a perfectionist. I was. Sorry, the word is I was. I am no longer. Why? A perfectionist rides solo. But there is no, I am imperfect because I have my own sins. They don't have to be public. They're those sins that you sin in your privacy of your thoughts, in your actions that no one can attribute to. Do not be perfect, because no one is perfect. Because we were born, and the Bible says, man or woman, born of a woman, is full of sin and of a few days. So there is no perfection. So don't get off that way of perfectionist, yeah? And being abundant, for me right now, and it may come out as arrogance, but I say with confidence, that I have invested in my personal growth and forgiven myself of my past, because he makes me complete every time. And that has made me abundant, because abundance flows to me easily and freely. I embody abundance, and I chant it every time. And with that, I relate it with the course of Abundant Woman of Excellence. I can tell you that is a forum that makes you move beyond your comfort zone and become the executor that God called you to be. So my summary is that execution is embodied on one principle. And that's the way I summarized it, Mr. Radido, is that what matters most is how you see yourself. And how you see yourself is dependent on the relationship that you have with the Creator, who said he has nothing but good plans for you. But above all things, when all is said and done, if you're not founded in Christianity and your spirituality, even if you're Muslim, there is Allah. If you're not founded in the person who brought you to this world, just like that paper, it will crumble. Above all things is God. So that, like Maya said, you don't need another person, place, or thing to make you whole. Believe that God already did that. Your job, and it is your job. No one can make you believe. No one can make you know it. Your job is to know it. And those are the scriptures, and I hope, Coach, I have summarized it to the best of my ability. Thank you very much for your attention.
Let's give Mumbi a lot of appreciation. Wow, wow, wow. I don't even know what to add. Thank you so much. I can see your boss is there, and she says you're a leader. Yes, you are. Amazing, amazing. You've just summarized for us everything. What an evening, ladies and gentlemen who are here. As Radido says, each new day at the Nairobi National Park in Kenya, the cheetah wakes up knowing she must outrun the fastest antelope and have it for lunch, or else she'll die of starvation. At the same time, the lion is also waiting to stalk its prey, execute an ambush, or suffer the consequences of a failed strategy. The story of execution is universal and no different for the animal kingdom, the human race, or corporate organizations. It says it is either you execute or you exit the scene. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What an evening, full of learnings. Amazing. Thank you so much. And as we come to the end, if you have any question, kindly put it in the chat. If you have any question for our guest speaker especially, you can put that in the chat, and then we'll be able to respond. But we are coming to the end. We have gone past our time, which was 8:30, but we can't leave this space without asking Reverend Joyce, Lady Joyce Kariuki, just to say hello to us. Karibu, Joyce. I hope you are still in.
Yes, Coach, I'm here.
Wow, yes. Take the stage, Lady Joyce.
Thank you so much. I greet everyone that has joined this webinar, and I want to thank all the speakers. It's been awesome. I'm seated here with my notebook and my pen, and I'm just taking notes because we are learning every day from one another. And so I want to just thank God for all the speakers who have spoken to us, such powerful words that are reminding us that there is much more. There is much more that God designed in all of us and put in all of us. And just being able to acknowledge what are the limitations that are holding us. And I liked how there was one speaker also who talked about really the way to move forward is also first of all to understand yourself, your personality, because when you do that, then you're able to understand what is standing in your way. So thank you so much. I also want to thank Radido for an amazing work that he's doing. I've watched Radido from the very beginning together with his wife Millicent at the House of Wealth, the publishers, and I've watched them from their very humble beginning to where they are today, where they are helping even CEOs, write books. And I was also honored that he was able to publish my very first book. And maybe I would put it out here that I believe all the women that are here, I don't know if they are men. Okay, everyone that is here, I believe you have a story. I'm not sure. I believe you have a story. Let me just put it this way. I believe all of us have a story, and that story needs to be read. That story needs to be read by generations beyond you. And that is what pushed. I'd never thought I could write a book until I met Radido. So I want you to know, what are all those speakers? I hope they have like 3, 4, 5 books. Every one of us have a story. It just needs to be packaged well. When you meet publishers like Radido, it just needs to be packaged well, and then it is released. It becomes a second, like it's Joyce. My book is Shine. Shine is a second Joyce, and it will outlive me. So when you write your book, it outlives you to generations. That was just a side word to all of us, that you can write a book when you have somebody holding you. So a big shout out to Radido and his wife Millicent. They work together like this, and the team that they are with. A big shout out to them, and thank you so much. Coach, allow me to thank you for giving me the opportunity just to greet people and to say thank you, Coach, also for an amazing work you're doing at the book club. I thank God for the day I met you. I can also, when given a chance, I will also be able to share my story of what has changed since I met you, since I participated, probably not fully in all the programs and the book club, but there are definitely things I have picked along the way. And that's why I'm still here, because there are things I continue to pick along the way that have made me better than I was even before I met you. So thank you so much. Let's continue to be everything that God called us to be. Let's, like the late Dr. Miles Monroe said, he said he wanted to go empty. He wanted to give out everything that God had put in him for mankind. And I believe he went when he had given, emptied of all of himself. And so let us also do the same. Be everything God called us to be, and let's give out everything that God put in us, because it's not just for us, it's for us and for people. And the only way to do that is to continually grow in many different ways. The Lord bless you. As even we are coming to the end of the year, thank you so much. May you end strong, may you end successfully, may the Lord answer your prayers, and let us look forward to another great year of 2024 and see what God has in store for us. Thank you so much, Coach. God bless you. And the work that you're
Thank you
doing.
so much.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Asante sana, and thank you so much for joining us. Joyce is a member of Rich and Royal. Rich and Royal is a ladies club where we don't have homeless money. In Rich and Royal, we don't have homeless money, and this is the club where we read books that elevate our financial freedom. So if you also want to join us, there's this club where your money will never be homeless. Rich and Royal, Abundant Ladies Club, and it's all about financial freedom through passive income. We have also talked about Unleash the She Leader. I've also shared a link there. It is time to find your voice. It is time to awaken your greatness, as we have heard from all the speakers, and it's time to step out to influence and impact. If you are interested, I've also put a link there. And of course, the next book club starts in January. We are transforming lives, as you have heard from all the presentations, through reading. So join us in the I'm Leading the Book Club 2024. We only read books that elevate our personal development, that stretch us to be the next best version of ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen from today's conversation that you can transform your life. You have got power in you. to execute. So die empty, as Reverend Joyce has told us. Begin, it starts with the first steps. Then believe. You don't have to see lights on the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. Listen to that nudging in your heart. Then as you do this, you become. And that is our theme as we start 2024, becoming that woman of excellence. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. It has been a lovely evening. I don't know. I think I'll just take some time. I look at the chats. I think there are so many they have overcome me. So I will take time to look at that. Thank you so much, the speakers. You have been awesome. By the way, there is one speaker who has not even talked. I didn't see her there. And she was introduced by us by, I think, Reverend, if I'm not wrong, Perpetua. She was to speak to us. I think we'll give her another opportunity because she has also a lot of information to share with us. Perpetua serves as the Director, Economic Diplomacy and Chair Women in Business at the Kenya Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She is an entrepreneur. Wow. The first time she joined us, she was CEO of Coopers Interiors. Now she told me she has expanded and she was really serious in talking to us today about execution, where she is the CEO of Old Tradition Foods Limited. And of course, very, very passionate about empowering women, especially at the grassroots. So that has been our story this evening. That has been an evening full of learning, profound knowledge. So thank you so much. I don't want to take much of your time. It's already 9. Can you imagine from 6:30? Mr. Radido, you can appreciate what we had at the graduation. People are leaving at 8 p.m. So you can see. So I want to give you 1 minute, Mr. Radido, just to say bye-bye to us and to wish us a Merry Christmas. Are you in?
Yes, I am in.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you you will stay on. Here you are.
Wow,
Ooh,
wow, wow.
Thank you. After listening now to the ladies who have read that book, what can you say, Mr. Radido?
First of all, allow me to say a big thank you to my pastor, Reverend Joyce.
Wow.
It's an honor to have you on board. I didn't know she will be joining us. I didn't know. I did not know. It's an honor
Yes.
Yes, to receive mentorship from her and our bishop, where we also tap our spiritual nourishment.
Wow.
To each and every one of us, once again, I am grateful and I'm humble for choosing to study execution as your book in this book club, and for each and every one of us that have gotten the opportunity to listen to them. It's an honor that somebody, now to me as an author, someone telling me that there's this message that you wrote in this segment that has truly transformed my life. I am grateful. My challenge to every one of us in the coming year, 2024, my challenge to each and every one of us is that we need to be intentional in capital letters. We need to be intentional in getting things done. 2023, it is not yet over. I want you to do a personal evaluation. Most of the time, we do an evaluation based on the things that we did not do. I want you to reverse it and do your personal evaluation based on the things that you did. Because I know this year there are some things that were a plus to you. Do an evaluation, write a list of the things that you are able to achieve or the progress or the milestone that you are able to achieve this year. Why? When you do that, you will be inspired to face the following year knowing that I did some achievement in the year 2023. Because if we focus on the things that we did not do, then it might kill your morale and it might kill your psyche and energy for coming year. That's why people start by, doing resolutions, and then somewhere along the way, they lose it. But if you begin by doing the things that you have achieved so far, and then you go back to the same creator because you did not create yourself, you go back and connect to that Wi-Fi and ask your creator at least to open up your eyes of understanding, to just give you 1% seeing of the things that he deposited in you. And you just focus on 1% from his table of the greatness that is in you. I know if you focus on that 1% of what he created in you and you achieve it, it will give you energy to keep on winning. So my challenge to you and everyone, me included, and my team and my wife included, we go back to our drawing board. We begin by highlighting what are the things that we were able to achieve this year. And you'll see 2023, you got a lot. One of them being alive. Then you do the things, you highlight the things that you want to achieve or you want to accomplish in the coming year. Then you break them down to a point whereby you can be able to account your time for a day or even an hour. And any moment you realize that you have time on your hand, please focus that time to building your headquarters, your mind. Because Albert Einstein said, yes. Let me not proceed because there's a lot, but it's being intentional and getting things done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Let's meet. We are still doing reposition, our end of year challenge, and we are finishing by Friday. So I look forward to interacting with you for the remainder of the 2 days that we have before we finish reposition, because we are repositioning for 2024. We are resetting, we are realigning, and we are restarting again. So thank you. Let's meet again there. I will share everything in the respective WhatsApps. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.